Sounds like you were pretty happy with my video.
The growth is unreal, Rory.
Oh,
You've done a fantastic job over these last couple of weeks. I appreciate you being just open and transparent and just receptive of the feedback that I've given you.
of course.
Um, I can see a difference. I hope that you can see a difference. And I know that you and I have talked about, your plans for the future as far as, sticking to maybe a singular content, working with older kids and things of that nature. And I just want to let you know that these are the same foundations or these are the same things that you would employ with them as well. So I don't want you to get discouraged and think, oh, well, that only worked for elementary. No, high schoolers still like to be praised. They still like, um,
Perfect.
like clear directions and
Hmm.
things of that nature. So you're definitely on your way to being like a super fantastic teacher.
Well, that is amazing to hear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
Um,
welcome.
while I've got you here, I actually wanted to pick your brain real fast for this last video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, obviously, there's no standard, there's no clear-cut directions. What I've got planned right now is for tomorrow afternoon, we're going to play a grammar Jeopardy game.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm trying to incorporate as much as I can. We're gonna be like, here's the general outline. Two teams, Jeopardy board. It's up on the smart screen. I'm gonna have, instead of me doing anything, I'm gonna have them go up and do the touching. So is basically the integration of the technology, at least as much as I can get at the classroom at this point. Um, the differentiation was a little bit tricky that I kept running into. I figured since they're on a team, they'd be able to differentiate by picking the easier questions if they are a lower student, and the harder questions if they're like a higher student. I figured that would leave the differentiation to them. Um, but in addition, if they needed some additional support, I figured like I could give some like minute penalty, like, oh, if you need a clue, minus 10 points from the 100 points or whatever. Um,
Mm.
that was the gist of it. And then to have them do the reading, speaking, and writing, they'd be reading the question, speaking the answer, and to accommodate the writing thing, I figured there'd be one person on each team actually answer the question, and I think they're almost all writing questions, so they would be able to write the answer on their whiteboard I provide them, and they'd show it to us.
So your differentiation
Hmm.
piece, Jeopardy is differentiation.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like how it's kind of leveled.
Yeah.
So 100 points are always the easy questions. 500 points are always the hard questions.
Exactly.
I would just challenge the lower babies not to always stick with the easier questions,
Okay. Yeah.
Try the ones in the middle, try the 300s, try the 500s, that type of thing.
Okay.
And giving them student choice, allowing them to choose their rigor is the best way to kind of hit that. So
Perfect.
you're right in the right direction.
Yes.
That last piece of the reading and writing and speaking,
Hmm.
you're definitely in the right ballpark. So,
Okay.
you got the tools, you had the direction, like go
Okay.
for it.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Last thing I'm gonna really focus on is like, this is the part that always gets me, the why, as to all of it. It's like, oh, why is this the correct answer?
Hmm.
That's the one thing. Like, I'm gonna push them and ask them for the question anyways. I'm not expecting a perfect answer. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
why is fluffy an adjective? Teacher, because it's an adjective. That's right.
Hmm. So then push with a different question. So
Okay.
rephrasing the question differently, right?
Yeah.
So why is fluffy an adjective? Teacher, because it's an adjective. Well, what is the definition of an adjective?
Ooh, I like
You
that.
get what I'm saying?
Okay, I
Or
see where you're going.
what is an adjective? And then hopefully they can get to, well, it describes things.
Hmm.
And then restate the question again. Well, why is Fluffy an adjective? Because Fluffy is describing the cat,
Okay.
or Fluffy is describing the dog. So don't give up with that one question.
Okay.
How can you restate the question to get them to dig deeper and then go back to that original question so that they can make those connections that
Okay.
they need to make?
Okay. So keep pushing through that way. Sweet. Um, Other than that, I think that's my general plan right now. The problem is, I'm there's so many different standards here that that could get thrown at me. I'm just trying to get like the broad range, but I obviously can't get them all. So I wasn't sure if this. I figured this would be a pretty good job of hitting the nail on the head.
So now,
Ideally, hopefully.
so how do we go back to that? So I think you hit it right on the head when you spoke about differentiation. That was one that you struggled with. You
Mm-hmm.
also struggled with the interaction with technology. And it sounds like
Yeah.
you kind of know what to do with that now,
Mm-hmm.
having the kids like student led and kind of do that. So think about those standards that you didn't do so well on, and how can you show that you have moved beyond the not proficient, what is it, developing?
Yeah.
How have you moved from developing to proficient in those areas?
Okay. The one that's really striking me right now, because I actually got onto the website, it's like, okay, where am I struggling? Learning differences. That's one that really got me. For this one, it's kind of in a way taking care of itself, just because it's the Jeopardy format. It already has the differentiation, but by then offering them additional clues. I mean, granted, there's a small penalty to it, but by offering those extra clues, it's still encouraging them to get the right answer and then to figure out why it's the correct answer instead of just bypassing them. And in this case, the learning deficit isn't so much. Oh, you getting called again?
I did. I got called to the main office. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm working through the idea real fast. We'll be quick. It's not so much a learning deficit because it's grammar. It's not full English, but it's the different pieces and parts. So this is more. Then here's the definition. If you're missing the usage, here's the usage. As for still mentally, like any kind of mentally disabled student, I still don't know how to cover that.
So for you, I mean, honestly, because of your situation, like, you can't really cover that, right? Dealing with the cultural aesthetics where you're at. So,
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I feel like we have enough data and enough understanding of these last 11 weeks of, who the kids are that have challenges, and you've done what you can do on your side of things to address those challenges, whether it's working with your co-teacher and having those conversations, whether it is, I think this book is a little too hard for her. Let's try some one-on-one in class. Like, you've made those adjustments. And I would probably say maybe choosing those students like the Erics and the Audis who have challenges. Maybe they're the team captains.
Ooh.
Maybe you get what I'm saying? Maybe we can leverage them in different ways. So it's thinking outside the box like that. Like, how can I still make sure that they are engaged and that they are accessing the work, even if they're not the ones, getting the answers right, that type of thing.
I like that a lot, and it gave me an idea, because I've got 3 students. Like Chan is another one. He's not having learning difficulties. He's having attention deficit difficulties. Which, if I put him in something simple where he's still participating in the team and, like, I don't know, scorekeeper, whatever, he's doing that on top of that, I think that would be the one thing that really throws him in. It's like, okay, now he's paying attention.
Yeah, and he could probably move,
Exactly.
Especially with attention deficit, they can't stay still. So having him as a scorekeeper, I think, is a brilliant idea. Allowing him to kind of walk around and float maybe would also kind of help him be engaged and keep his attention focused on the activity.
Ideally, yeah. All right, I'll give that a shot and see what happens. I really like that, actually.
Okay, awesome.
Sweet. I didn't have too much to say about the last one, did you?
No, so far I'm so proud of you.
Killed it. I'm so happy. I finally got one.
Yep, you got it. You got a perfect score.
Nice.
I did email you like several emails earlier this morning.
No worries.
And I was like, I should have just done all of that in one. But I just want to let you know, on my end, I have submitted everything that I was supposed to submit.
Perfect.
I couldn't remember when I was in the program if I had to submit something as far as hours, so I just went ahead and sent that to you in case you had to submit something on your end as well.
I do.
Okay. So I sent that to you via email. Perfect. And I want to say that's it.